Hello everyone, this is Collector of All Things, and we're back again discussing EVA Foam. Last week I showed off 4 helmets that I built and I had so much fun building them, but I actually built a 5th one. And I didn't stop there, I made a whole suit of armor. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been fascinated with samurai, and I've always wanted to make my own katana sword or their armor. And I don't have a forge at home, so the sword is out of the question, although I did purchase a couple. But making their armor, when I saw what you could do with EVA foam, I said, is it possible for someone like me to make EVA foam armor? And I decided the first thing I should do is see if I can actually make the helmet. So there's a couple of ways to do them, and I said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take basically a bowl that would fit over my head, and I made the template off the bowl, and then I would try to add everything onto it. So I actually started working on it, and I came up with this helmet right here. And I was very pleased with the outcome of this helmet. So this is along the same lines as the other helmets that I built. This is EVA foam. I'll show you on the bottom that you can actually see that I left this part unpainted. This is the part that will actually you'll feel on your head as it holds the helmet, and then you have the regular foam on the inside. And then I painted it. This part I painted all black inside. This was actually green foam, and I painted this foam because it was actually red. I later on did go out and get some of this foam in black, which I can actually show you what it looks like. And this is another piece of foam that I put on the front. I cut it, and then I made this one, and I went around and I shaped it. Now this is all shaped with heat. I got that curve with a heat gun like I mentioned in my last video. And this foam here is actually thinner, you'll notice. So I used 2 types of foam. I used this type of foam, which is thicker, and this is the one that you would use for mats that would go on the floor, and they, as you see, that this part would clip together. But this actually is the part that you can take off of the foam itself to be able to put multiples across, and then you have that clean edge at the end. So this is a leftover piece from when I was making the armor. And this is the thinner foam that I used for the back of the helmet. So this is a crafting foam that I was able to pick up. And I've also used this on one of my other helmets. If you remember the one from the last video, the Thor helmet, I actually used this for the center pieces to cover the seams and to give it a little bit more of an accessory, accessorize the helmet and you know, maybe pop a little bit more. So on this helmet, I used that thinner foam for the back part, and I created a weave pattern like this to give me that hang over and make it look like more like a samurai helmet. And then I painted everything with a brush, and I matted it out, and I wanted to make it look a little bit like an older style, like not too clean, very, you know, rustic looking. And then of course I painted the gold. So the gold took probably about 4 or 5 coats to really get it out like this. This is actually a mixture of gold and black, so I wanted to make a contrast. So I made like a copper type of color. So I made the helmet. Once I made the helmet, I said, okay, I think the helmet was the toughest part. And then I went on to making the actual armor itself. So it's going to be a little bit hard to bring, I can't bring the armor here, but what we'll do is we're going to cut to another scene right now, and I'll explain what we're looking at. Let's take a look at the entire armor. So this is the entire armor, and we'll go a little bit closer just to get some of the finer details in. It's hard to see from far away. So right here, what I did was I put it on a black base coat. I painted all the foam black except for the interior, which you won't see as you're wearing it. And then I added a light coloring, a couple of light layers of red. I used a black nylon cord to tie everything together. And then I put accents of gold all around it, like in the center that we're looking at right now. And I thought that the gold made it pop, and the red and the gold matched with the helmet itself. So it gave it a complete look, I find. And I'm very happy with the way that it came out. The weaving was, it took a while to figure out how I wanted to weave it together and what I wanted to make it look like. So I even added those little parts for the front of the legs, the shin guards. That's the complete armor. I think it came out really nice. You can actually wear it. Maybe what we'll do is I'll cut to a scene right now of, believe it or not, with me wearing the armor. So my intention was when I made the helmets, they had to fit, they had to work. And I'm happy to say that all 4 helmets worked. And now I have the 5th one with the samurai armor. So that one had to fit too. Since that was measured for my head, I'm happy to say that it does fit. And now the armor, does it actually fit? Well, let's cut to this video and see what it looks like. So there you have it, me wearing the armor. Obviously, you can put something on underneath to make it look more authentic. Basically, I'm just wearing a t-shirt with jeans just to show you that you can actually put the armor on. So this is not a how-to video, it's me showing off the armor, but I did want to give you a perspective of exactly what it looks like and when I'm building the armor. So here's a couple of scenes with exactly what the foam looks like before, me cutting out the pattern. This is one of the shoulder pieces, and I'm actually forming it to shape. And as you can see, I took a heat gun and I'm just bending it to try to get that shape inside the armor itself. And here I am working with the arm guards, and again, I'm shaping them with heat. So as you can see, this is what, just to get that nice little shape inside it. So as you heat it and it cools down, it will actually take its form. And here I am forming the chest piece and the back piece. So I'm actually, what I did was I've already threaded it through, but I'm adding a little bit more heat, a little bit more bend into it so that it'll actually take the shape and be able to fit over the shoulders. And here's a couple of shots of the armor itself before it was painted. So this is the look of the armor before it actually took any paint. And this is during the painting process. So this is with the coat of black and then adding on the coat of red, starting the coat of red. So this is me adding on the black and adding the coat of red. As you can see, the gold touches have not been finished and have not been added onto the actual cord itself. Hard to get up close. So what I've done is I've taken one of the gauntlets or the arm guards, the protectors, just to give you an idea of what this looks like. So basically what we have here is we have the color. So I want to get a little bit closer. It might be hard to see on camera. So you have that black base coat, and I actually left it black to accent where the nylon goes right through. And I also put gold accents because I wanted to tie everything together. So the rope itself, the nylon cord, is black, and what I did was I went over it with a gold brush to accent it out and give it that look. So I think it makes it pop, not painting the black all the way through red and giving that look that comes out. And then the red itself, I didn't go with a completely red. I wanted it to be more of like a rust color. So to give it that armored look, something that was probably built a long time ago, maybe even built by hand, because when you think about the time of this, it wouldn't have been built by any type of materials. And what's funny is, yeah, I actually did make this by hand, but I made it out of foam. And as you see, I did not paint the back. What I was looking for is something that you can wear. I didn't want to take a chance that anything would rub off or anything like that. So is the outside. The one thing that I would say is I did use acrylic paint. I did paint it with a brush. And then you go over it with a clear coat. I went over it with a couple of clears to make it stronger and be able to risk scratching it and coming off. So that's the way it looks. And what I did was I actually, for the nylon cord itself, I passed it through. I actually weaved it. And then once you're wearing it, I actually tied it off in a way that you can actually adjust the tightness while it's on you. So you can either put it up covering your hand like this. You could back it up a little bit. It could be worn with gloves, which that was my idea when I made this. So either I will make my own set of armored gloves, or you can just go pick up any type of glove to wear it. And if you wear long sleeves, you can go pick up some type of Japanese gi. You can wear it underneath, and it would look more authentic. So I'm very pleased. It was my first try at doing this, and I'm very pleased with the way it came out. So I encourage people, that if this is something you want to try, I procrastinate. I waited a long time to be able to do something like this. I've seen people work with foam before. Recently, I watched some of the great experts online working with foam and templates. So with this one, I didn't use a template. This is, again, like I mentioned in my other videos, I'm more of a person who likes to do everything freehand. So all I did was I took the foam itself, or I took a piece of paper and I formed it over my hand, and I said, okay, this is roughly the size that I want. And then I looked at what type of shape that I want, and I cut the shape out. The easiest thing, if you don't want to waste your foam, is to take, some paper, some scrap paper, put it on you, or measure whatever part of your body that you want to do, and then cut that out, and then recheck it again, make sure that it works. Once it works, you have your template, you cut it out of the foam, and then you make one, for one side, mirrors to the other side. And that's what I did with the shoulder piece. That's what I did with the arm piece. The rest of it, the chest piece, I actually measured it. I took the foam itself, I bent it around my body. I looked at where I wanted to have the neck. I roughly sketched out on the foam itself. I went back. The first time I actually cut the chest piece, it didn't feel comfortable around my neck. So I tried it, I checked, I cut it a little bit too high. I went back and I recut it to give me a better mobility around where my neck would be. And that's it. It's trial and error. It's working with it. What's great about foam, again, I mentioned in my last video, is that it's very forgiving. You can do a lot with it, with forming from heat and adjusting it. I do recommend that if it's your first time, to watch some of these great videos that are out there. There's a ton of them on how to build EVA foam. My video was really just to inspire you that if you did want to do this, don't be afraid, go out and try it. The foam itself is not that expensive. You can pick them up anywhere from, I think these sheets of foam, if you get them on special, they work out to maybe $3 or $4 a piece of foam. And it's really fun. You could use a hair dryer even to heat it up. I would recommend a heat gun. It goes a lot quicker. It's easier to form it. And you need a sharp X-Acto knife. Rest of that, it's an imagination. It's just deciding what you want to do. Sometimes you'll get an inspiration. Like I said, I got an inspiration for with the nylon rope itself, just putting it together. I thought that the nylon being stretchy will be able to stretch as I put the armor on. So I put it on as one piece, slides right over my head. I can slide it right off, and it'll hold. I don't have to worry about any seams or anything breaking. It's very strong. So it worked out really well. And I'm very happy with the overall project. I'm happy with the way that it looks. For my first time doing it, I'm very excited about it. And my wife looked at it and said, wow, that looks like it was made by a company. So I hope you like to look at my samurai armor and helmet. I certainly enjoyed showing them off. If you have any questions, queries, or comments, don't forget to leave them in the comment section. And I would like to thank all my subscribers, and I want to wish you good luck in your future projects if you do decide to work with EVA Foam. If you don't, I want to wish the rest of you a great day.